if you just assume we're going to close it from the beginning and have that confidence moving forward, then it becomes a lot stronger and better because we're going into it with a closing mindset.
Another person's like, well, here's a quote, take it or leave it. Like, it's a shorter, one-sided, one-dimensional sales process. 2 options shows people that they can work it out together with you.
People should be excited to get back on the phone with you and want to talk to you. They want to hear your professional opinion about their insurance portfolio.
All right, friends and family, we have here our lovely team talking more about sales, and more sales, and how to sell insurance, and not just how to quote, but how to sell, right? Like, that's the big mantra here. Quoting process, teach people how to quote, but man, when they get your license, they have not taught you how to sell insurance. They just teach you what the coverages are, right? So
They teach you technical words that mean nothing in the real world.
Right. You have to unlearn what you learned so you could be an insurance agent. So let's talk about some ways that we all can think of to close more quotes, right? Like, hey, we've got those out there. What are some closing strategies you all like to use? Stephen has his hand up. Okay, how professional. Let's do it.
We should just ask for the sale.
Oh,
like, can that be the key? Like, number one, like, hey, this is a great solution. Let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think asking for the business, not saying, hey, why don't you think about it and let me know?
Yeah, that's my pet peeve is just sending it off into the wasteland. You just spend all your time and you're so overwhelmed to begin with. You send it off into the wasteland to never be heard from again.
Think about it.
Maybe we just say, hey, I have a great solution. Here's some benefits. Let's move forward with this. And then wait for an objection or an okay.
I like that one. Bobby, do you have a good closing technique you like?
I mean, I feel like we need to always be closing from the moment that we pick up that phone with that client and understanding objections as they're coming across our desk. Is this the right client for our agency? You know, it might be me disqualifying the customer at some moments in time. Not every customer is your client. So we need to understand that, but then we also need to be uncovering objections. And I think that's where we go wrong a lot of times as sales agents is that we're just trying to get that sale and we're trying to force that round peg into that square hole so badly. And I want that tally mark. And, you know, Steven's beating me in sales this month and I got to get this one. And maybe that's not what's best for my agency. And so I need to be making sure that I'm qualifying those things along the way and getting these people on board with the sales process and making sure I'm overcoming those objections. Because by the time I deliver that quote to somebody, my only final question should be, where would you like me to send this application for signature and how would you like to pay them?
I love that.
Like when I'm working with new producers too, I'm like, hey, if we just assume the sale from the beginning, we don't need practice, right? Even if we're brand new to the industry, we don't need practice. We just need to have some confidence. And if you just assume we're going to close it from the beginning and have that confidence moving forward, then it becomes a lot stronger and better because we're going into it with a closing mindset. Like, we're just going to get it done.
And people want to buy from an agent that they're confident in. If you call me and you're asking me questions and I'm hemming and hawing and, oh, I don't know, let me find that information. I'll get back to you. Now, I'm not saying that you can't say that maybe you need to get information and get back to someone, but then you better be getting back to someone at the time period that you say you're getting back to them.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, we need to be establishing that value, establishing that trust. And you know, we don't walk into our CPA's office on tax day with all of our stack full of paperwork and go, here, help me, please.
One of my favorite salespeople is not a salesperson. They only do service. I don't sell.
Like those always make the best salespeople, actually.
And I'm looking at the numbers and I'm like, you closed more umbrellas and home policies than anybody else this last quarter. She's like, well, because if they don't have it, I tell them they're stupid and they need it when they need it. I'm like, well, I don't know about that attitude, but like, give me an example. She goes, I had somebody called the other day and somebody they were putting in a pool. I said, great. Along with that pool, you're getting an umbrella. I just need to know where to send the bill. I need a signature. And she's like, and I'm like, so you quoted it and presented? She goes, no, I didn't care what it cost. They needed one. They're stupid if they're getting a pool and don't have an umbrella. So I just tell them.
You can afford a pool. You could probably afford a few
Well,
$100. That's an add-on for an umbrella.
And I'm like, well, what about all these home pools? She goes, well, if they have auto. I'm like, you're going to call me and complain about your rate. So we're just going to take care of your home or renters right now so I can get you the best deal possible with this carrier if the home qualifies. So I need a couple pieces of information. And I'm like, but then did they want the quote? She goes, I don't care. I'm I'm not going to put up with them when they call me back and they complain about their rate when I haven't done everything possible to give them the best rate.
Mm.
And I was like, okay, well, so confident in a way can go a long way into closing.
Well, I also think in order to close too, we need to talk about something we talked about in our last episode, which is giving people options, the A or B option. So huge and so simple. Like just so simple of like, hey, I have 2 options for us to look at. And like, don't you feel good wherever you go? And they're like, let's look at the options we have. Like, I love options. It helps me like understand complicated things more. Like, even like when I'm going to shop for a car, like I always pick 2 between A and B, like because one's more expensive, but one has these things. And like, what do you want? And then your head, you can sort of delineate it, but it also allows you to spend a little bit more time with that prospect, educating them. Where another person's like, well, here's a quote, take it or leave it. Like it's a shorter, one-sided, one-dimensional sales process. 2 options shows people that they can work it out together with you.
That they actually do have choices. You don't want to give them too many choices though, like
No.
the 24,
No.
menu of, all the things. We're not trying to confuse people, but, A versus B, what do you like more? Oh, I like this versus that. So they get engaged in that. And that can actually, for some people, that's fun. Now they feel like they were part of that decision making.
100%. I also like to say too, I think, when we think about how to close more quotes, one of the things I always say is that that's a sales disabler is emailing the quote. Our job is to be educators. We're licensed to explain it. When we email it, I think it just sucks all of our value out the window. I can argue that if somebody doesn't want to get back on the phone with you, one, you didn't do a good job building rapport or why or value. So all the objections they get, well, people don't want to be on the phone. They want to see it. I say, great. They really want to see it. Share screens with them. Like we're post-COVID. My, 74-year-old mom knows how to FaceTime. All will be well. And if they really don't want to get on, they don't have to be on show video. They could just see the screen. If not, it's to get them on the phone and send it to them. But I think we want to get the quote off of our desk and move on to the next thing. That's a quoting process, not a sales process. A sales process would make you excited to get on the phone with the person and say, all right, because you have this, we recommend that. Because you have the swimming pool, we recommend the umbrella. You were having a great pool party, someone slips and falls and is often an emergency room, you're going to get sued.
I think if we're not quoting in real time, people should be. And you hit the nail on the head, Kelly. Like they should be excited to get back on the phone with us and be like, oh, Stephen's going to give me my quotes today. Like, I want to see these. Like, I'm so excited to talk to Stephen and find out what's going on with Tina, Athena, Christina. What's her name again?
Tina, Sabrina, Christina.
This one always tongue ties me.
What's the official initials? Tina, T-A, Tac?
Tina, Athena, Sabrina, Christina.
Oh, there you go. Task. So there you go. Where's task today? That's what we just need to do.
So we should be excited. People should be excited to get back on the phone with you and want to talk to you. They want to hear your professional opinion about their insurance portfolio.
Well, and this happens when you build rapport and you build trust and you qualify the lead. Like I can't tell you how many people just write quote unqualified business and it sucks up all the time. And that's not really what we should be doing. We need to qualify. All that happens when we build rapport and we have some time up front, which I think is so, so huge. I also want to say too, I think that, when you're thinking about closing, another strategy is asking for the no, right? Like, hey, if I'm not your fit, will you let me know? It's okay. I'll just, because I don't want to follow up with that person. It's going to be a no. I want to know why. And sometimes it's like, well, no, I found something less expensive. Well, what did you find? And then you find out it's nothing like what you quoted and you can have the conversation. I think sitting in uncomfortable conversations in sales, like asking, where are you going? Oh, you're getting other quotes. Where'd you getting them from? Like keeping people talking is another great way to get the sale. Like don't just accept it, get them talking. And make people not ghost you. Like, I think a lot of times we don't hear a no, we just get ghosted and either we get tied up and we don't follow up the way we should, or we're not as confident as we should. So we stop because we don't want to be pushy. Right.
Mhm.
So instead, what we need to do is focus on how can we stay strong, but also ask for that no and work through objections and not when people get off the phone, they're never going to give you an objection. They're just going to ghost you. When you know clearly why you get off the phone, like I'm waiting for their quote or, okay, I'll send this over to my lender, and then we'll make sure it fits everything. Whatever the reason is that they're not going to close, I need to talk to my spouse. Great. When can we get on the phone together? You keep talking with them because they either sell you on, yes, or they sell you, or you sell them. They either sell you on no or you sell them on yes. Sorry. Got that backwards in my head today. Final recap. Why should everybody buy this new course, guys? We're going to go and have sales process training. And I think that this is unique because I think it's one of the few sales trainings out there that's not necessarily just for like hardcore producers, right? Like this is something
For
that if
anybody.
people service or sell, they do inbound sales, they're producers, anybody. It's literally a level up for anybody who sells a policy. So Stephen, why should someone buy this course?
To help them gain more confidence in closing.
I love it. I love it. Bobby.
We need it. We need it now. We need consistency. We need to help our people and give them all the tools and resources that you're going to get with this course is going to be so exciting and super helpful for everybody to create consistency within your agency in that process.
Awesome. Well, guys, thank you. Appreciate you. And we'll see everybody in the next podcast.